What's good, YouTube? Cardfight King here, AQUA Life Baby. You already know. Alright, so it's time for a new Aqua Force deck profile. It's going to be on my OG Maelstrom returning for the Strive format. Yes, I am excited that my favorite card, my day one, is getting continued support in G-Set 2. Not only for the Maelstrom in its name, but also because his subclan of Bluestorm is not subclan specific in terms of a special counterblasting and things like that, which opens up a lot of options for other cards you could run the deck. Cards like Sutasia from G-Set 2 and Orthea add a lot of versatility to the play style of this deck, and I'm just extremely excited that we're able to do that. Now, I do believe that Maelstrom, in his play style and his version of Aqua Force, is the hardest one to construct a build for, because there's just a lot of things that goes on, and I'm definitely going to get more into that throughout the video. But I have been testing this deck out a ton, especially against my boy Juan Mango and his cross deck, and it's been producing really good results. It's a very it's really consistent, it's really good, and it's only going to get better come G-Set 2. So let's get into the deck profile, because I'm extremely excited, and I hope you guys are too. Alright guys, so for the starter, we got that young Marios, also Cadet Marios. He's the best starter for Maelstrom, hitting on the third battle, boost hit third battle, search top 5 for Maelstrom, reverse, glory, or regular. It's just a really good and really consistent skill, and you're definitely able to get him off from turn 1, especially if you're able to rush on turn 1. 4 heal triggers, 4 draw triggers. The 4 draw triggers, Malika, again, is for pushing it into the soul to give things plus 3k like Tidal Assault and Magnum Assault and things like that. But also, for usage of Penguin Soldier and other units for Soul Blasting when we get to G-Set 2. But for right now, this is pretty good. And as always, my builds will probably change after the video and as we get closer to Set 2, because I always believe in, there's always room for improvement. Now we run 5 crit triggers. Now, as you guys know, if you guys definitely watch my channel, I hate crit triggers in a Maelstrom style deck, but this is pretty good because we have access to Title Board now, who only needs 3 battles to get his effect off, so we can put other trigger effects on our other rearguard column. And this crit trigger is good because we can unflip damage, because the deck is a little bit more counterblast heavy now, but the 5 crit triggers there because we have access to a Vanguard that works off of 3 battles. Plus, it's pretty good in the early game. I'm learning to play more a different style of Maelstrom with these crit triggers incorporated, and it's actually working out really well. And now I run these 3 stand triggers. The new one we got, Alex Boris. This guy is a really good stand trigger, and this is also another reason why it's difficult to build Maelstrom, because Maelstrom style builds generally work off the 4th battle, and stand triggers usually work because your opponent's going to perfect guard or throw out like a no pass on your Vanguard, and then you won't be able to get your plus generally. But hitting a stand trigger will not only enable another attack, but you can also kill another rear guard, force another damage, or force another card out hand. But that's what stand trigger is. Now, what this stand trigger does specifically is on GB1, on the 4th battle, when it attacks a Vanguard or a rear guard, you can shuffle it back into your deck and switch unit on your field and put it in the position that this was. So you can put a Tidal Assault behind your Vanguard and have this guy swing 4 Vanguard, no hit, then swap position with Tidal Assault and shuffle him back. So he's a recurring stand trigger, and he helps enable the 4th battle. So this guy is really good, and I'm really contemplating running more copies of him. But for right now, this lineup has been working. Again, it is always subject to change. All right, on to grade 1. Alright, so for grade 1, we run 1 copy of the Penguin Soldier. The reason why I run 1 copy of him is because of how I've set up my grade 2 lineup. But 1 copy of him is fine. It's nice, nice for plus, help clean out the soul. Next cards we have is 4 copies of Bluestorm General Hermes. He's just our Bluestorm 10k attacker, really good for the early game and late game. And he's a great poke card too. 4 copies of the Limit Break Enabler. The Limit Break Enabler is in here because we run OG Maelstrom, so we're able to get a nice maybe turn 4 rush off and have his ability go off so we can plus. It's just a really good card for right now. Obviously this will change probably Set 2, but for right now this card is putting in work and is pretty good. And then 4 copies of the Perfect Guard. All right, on to grade 2. All right, guys. So for grade 2, we have 4 copies of Bluestorm General Gregorius. Now he's our Bluestorm 12K attacker, and the reason why I have him in here at 4 copies because again my meta is filled with Kagero, Narukami, Gear Chronicles, things that get rid of your cards, and a lot of times I don't I have my poke columns and I have my columns I'm just not able to get a booster in. So this guy is good for swinging in on the Vanguard with for 12k, poke at the Vanguard for 12k. So this guy is putting in a lot of work, and he's pretty good, especially if you have a nice 19k column with him and you do use Malika, throw it on him. That becomes a 22k column, which is a 15k block. So he's putting in a lot of work. He's doing really well. 4 copies of Tidal Assault. You got to have Tidal Assault in your Aqua Force deck. He's just a really good card, and he's another reason why I'm happy that Maelstrom, and the Blue Storms are not sub-clan specific, so we can run this guy, and because he's just a deadly card, and he's not $6.50, $7, for no reason. And then we run 4 copies of Magnum Assault. He is probably the only card that makes the deck a little bit more counterblast heavy because, GB1, when he attacks and he's boosted at the Vanguard, you can restand him and counterblast 1, restand him and get +2. He gets +2k. He's really good, and he works really well in conjunction with not only Maelstrom but Tidal Bore as well, because you can swing with him on the 3rd battle, restand him, give him +2k, swing with Maelstrom on the 4th battle, and still put trigger effects or just get another attacking with him. So he actually opens up a 5th option or more for your attacking turn. So he's a really good card, especially when you put triggers on him. All right, on to grade 3. And one more thing about my grade 2 lineup, that makes a total of 8 cards in my grade 2 lineup that can help me reach the 4th battle. So in addition to my stand trigger, that's just a good amount of 4th battle enablers. Obviously, this will probably change after the video. So, yeah, but let me get into my grade 3. All right, guys, and for the grade 3 lineup, we run 4 copies of OG Maelstrom. If you guys know, like I said before, he's my favorite card in Vanguard, and his effect is on the 4th battle turn, he gets 5k. If he hits, counterblast 1, draw 1, retire 1 on your opponent's side of the field. I'm gonna push him up because I'm gonna explain a bit more about why I run 4 copies of him as opposed to any less. I run 3 copies of Maelstrom Reverse, his cross ride. On his limit break, remember it's all limit break. His limit break is on the 4th battle of the turn. You lock a standing rear guard, counterblast 1. He gets 5k and an extra crit, and if he doesn't hit, you get to retire 1 on your opponent's side of the field and draw 1. And then I run 1 copy of Glory Maelstrom. Now everybody's crazy about him. He's like $20, $25 for because he works with the crit trigger, but what he does is when you're at 5 damage, his ultimate break is counterblast 1, and your opponent, he gets 5k, and your opponent cannot use grade 1s or higher to guard him from their hand. So this guy either forces your opponent to intercept or guard with only grade 0. So this guy is really good as a finisher. But the reason why I'm running 4 copies of Maelstrom is because I want to get my cross ride off. I want to have that nice cross ride defense. Again, I'm a defensive. I'm more of a defensive and a control player, and having that 13k body is really good. It turns your draw triggers and your 5k shields into 10k shields on a 17 and lower and a 17k and lower columns. Now, another reason why is because Maelstrom Reverse, although he has a really good effect to plus and whatnot, early game, he's not really that effective because your opponent will be like, sure, I'll take the extra crit. And even if you do play crits and you have to chance hitting them, and your opponent will take 2 damage rather than letting you minus their field and you going plus. So pressuring with him is really good because it's an on hit, and usually on hits are really pressurizing, kind of like how Tidal Bore is, how the Stride is for Kagros, that Mustafa or whatever. So this guy is this guy really works better, especially in the early portions of the game. And Glory Maelstrom is a limit break 5, so he only works if you're put into a really big really bad corner and you're at 5 damage. You need to start doing that. So it's nothing better than cross-riding him late in the game when you're on 5 damage and pressuring with his skill, because he's not only cross-ridden, but he can also negate grade 1s and higher. And this guy, he's cross-ridden as well, and he allows you to plus late in the game. But this guy will allow you to plus early, mid, and late game. So that's why I like to have him for that early game pressure. But that's been my deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely leave a comment in the section below. Tell me what you guys think. Are you running this deck? Are you running a version of the deck? Let me know. This deck's probably going to definitely... It actually is. It's definitely going to change D-Set 2. I may go to 2 copies of Glory because we are getting that new crit trigger, and that is a really nice win condition. But you guys know my feelings about making a deck around this card. It's very risky, and there's just a lot of variables that go into it, and I'm probably going to make a separate video explaining this card and what I think. But that crit trigger that we are getting is going to definitely improve this deck and change up the playstyle of how we run things. But this has been the Cardfight King. I'm out. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, and remember to leave a comment in the section below. Let me know what you guys think, and are you running this deck? How is it working out for you and whatnot? All right, Cardfight King, and I'm out. Peace. Oh yeah, I forgot one more thing. Comment down below what you guys' trigger lineup is, because right now I'm really conflicted with how I want my trigger lineup to go. So definitely put in the comment section below what trigger lineups you would like me to try out, which ones you suggest I play based upon your own personal experience with the deck, or what your views are on it. Because the trigger lineup I have right now is going to change, but that's why I said this is one of the most difficult. This is probably the most difficult Aqua Force deck to build with the Maelstrom playstyle, because on the 4th battle of the turn, Maelstrom will Maelstrom will get perfect guarded, will get overguarded. Then if you hit a crit trigger, you're left with nothing. But with this new support and everything's coming out, we might be able to change that. So let me know what your guys' trigger lineups are. All right, I'm out for real this time. All right, bye, peace. Cardfight King, AQUA Life, baby.